The World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO, proposed a model of the tourism value chain in 2013. The development potential of tourism is maximized in countries that manage to exploit indirect linkages in an optimal way and use a broad range of activities that can be considered relevant in order to achieve this. But what exactly is the value chain model, and how can it help the development of a region or territory? Katarina Milicevic, PhD, is a partner at Horwath HTL Croatia, the global leader in hotel, tourism, and leisure consulting. She's also CEO and co-founder of Think Tourism, a company supporting tourism professionals from both the private and public sector with creative and data-driven insights and solutions. Since 2019, she's been an assistant professor at the School of Economics and Business at the University of Ljubljana. She was a president of HI Croatia, or Croatian Youth Hostel Association, which is a member of Hosteling International.
Value chain in tourism is predominantly related to the services and products within the tourism destination. So if you ask me how value chain is applied in tourism, I would say that tourism destination itself is a micro value chain. So what does it mean? Tourism destination has so many different stakeholders which are related to produce different products and services within the tourism destination. So all of them are creating one unified value chain in tourism under one umbrella name, tourism destination.
Across every industry where the transaction of a product or service is present between client and business, value chains define the structural activities and output of the transactional process and help all companies strengthen their competitive nature. A value chain is a tool to diagnose and find ways to enhance competitive advantage as it divides a firm into the discrete activities it performs in designing, producing, marketing, and distributing its product. Each separate step, from extraction and input of raw materials to product creation and manufacture to distribution, becomes part of the value added and ultimately consumer satisfaction when they make use of said product. It can be understood as a multiplier effect. Every step taken adds more and more value to the product or service, utilizes more resources, and ends with the finished piece operated by the consumer.
In one destination, you have different stakeholders, different businesses. On the one hand, you have private sector, which is related to accommodation, lodging, food and beverages, entertainment, etc. So many different activities and services that are related to the overall tourism product. On the other hand, you have public sector, which is in charge for the destination management and which is in charge for the production of tourism products in the destination. So all of them, all these stakeholders are elements of the value chain in tourism.
A value chain includes a full range of activities and services required to lead a product or service from its conception to sale in its final market, be it a local, national, international, or global one. A value chain includes producers, input suppliers, operation, processors, retailers, and buyers. They're supported by a range of technical, business, and financial services providers. The value chain mainly focuses on the market collaborating strategy, emphasizing the connections between production, marketing, and other activities of the products and services in an effective and efficient manner. Vertical alignment is another important aspect where companies connect one end of the primary activities up to the last end of the supportive activities at each stage of the product, which increases value. A tourism value chain should be driven by the passion, pride, and confidence of key stakeholders that ensure visitors will experience the best that a destination can offer.
In order to certify tourism destination and stakeholders within the tourism destination, each stakeholder has some role to conduct. So this is how value chain can be applied to this certification process. So one individual in the destination conducting certification process doesn't mean anything from the global perspective. And in order to create this sustainable and this certified image, different stakeholders need to be involved in this value chain process within the destination. So each element or each stakeholder in the destination defining its own role has to conduct one part of this process.
With a degree in journalism and a master's in communication and marketing, Patricia Maleiro Araujo has worked since 1997 in client management, new product creation, and product management. Since 2015, she's been Director of Marketing and Projects for Biosphere Portugal.
Biosphere is an integral system of management and positioning of a destination, also of a company or a tourist product, through the escorts and advice for a continuous improvement towards the Horizon 2030, according, of course, to the sustainability criteria of the United Nations, its assessment by citizens and tourists. The Biosphere destination or the Biosphere company stamp is a system of measuring sustainability based on some objectives and indicators that works as a tool for continuous improvement and commitment of destinations and companies and also other tourism services, where Biosphere is the link in this whole process through identifiable and measurable objectives and goals. In addition, a certified destination or a certified company has the ability to boost sustainable tourism among all entities of its geographical area by promoting policies that help them obtaining their own sustainability stamp. So these will be granted the Biosphere Committed Entity stamp as an assurance, a guarantee of their commitment with the destination to follow the sustainability goals established in the certification system. Thus, the process of commitment of the entity is a flexible and customizable system where the destination and companies set their own standards, applications and processes for all the stakeholders and mainly companies to improve their sustainability.
A tourism value chain can simply be defined as a system that describes how private sector firms, in collaboration with government and civil society, receive or access resources as inputs, add value through various processes like planning, development, financing, marketing, distribution, pricing, and positioning, and sell the resulting products to consumers. A tourism value chain approach can be used as the methodology for analyzing the process and identifying opportunities to increase value through positive action or the elimination of barriers or constraints.
Every destination stakeholder plays important role in the certification process. But I won't say that there is someone or there is destination stakeholder which plays the most important role. There is a stakeholder which plays, I would say, first role, or he introduces destination certification process to the destination stakeholders. This is always public sector and always somebody who is in charge for managing tourism destination as so-called DMO or destination management organization. However, destination certification process cannot be conducted without every stakeholder involved and included into the process. So from one side, public sector, from another side, every entrepreneur within destination, every single service producer within the destination has to be involved in order to create this certified and competitive environment in the destination.
In order to apply the tourism value chain according to UNWTO properly, governments and businesses need to establish and enforce inclusive and integrated policy frameworks for sustainable tourism development. Businesses need to demonstrate their commitment to sustainability in core business models and value chains with enhanced action. And individuals and civil society need to advocate for and adopt consciously sustainable practices and behaviors.
Through Biosphere, the destinations that make sustainable development the cornerstone of their tourism strategy are energized to have a space to promote their sustainable activities, share their experiences and best practices, and tell their success stories, as well as generate, promote a set of good practices that can serve as a guide and inspiration to other destinations of the world that equally want to start their path to sustainability. So Biosphere created the Biosphere destination community, and to be a member is to belong to a club of destinations whose improvement is sustainability and is guaranteed by globally agreed criteria in conferences sponsored by the UNESCO and United Nations. So these destinations perform an integral measurement of their contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, as also to the Paris Agreement against climate change, and through international guidelines that came out from the World Charter of Sustainable Tourism, etc. So there is no doubt that we will for sure experience a new type of tourism in the next few years, and therefore this new type of tourism will force a new type of tourists who is with a higher level of environmental and cultural awareness, and that seeks to enjoy authentic experiences. These new tourists are also more demanding and with a higher capacity of influence, and have their own opinion on the products that they consume. So, through the Biosphere system, destinations and companies are encouraged to constantly improve their offers and their practices. These last months, for example, we developed a call to action to destinations and companies in order to accelerate their best practices and to set new sustainable indicators more centered in impact, like measuring their carbon footprint, and involve the tourists and clients in these compensation measures. Also, the certified destinations and companies were stimulated to work as a community where their best practices, but also their problems and their challenges were shared.